Hello everyone and welcome back to March of the Eagles. Inside the last episode, I believe we took the war to Prussia and we managed to defeat them on quite a few fronts. Inside this portion, I plan to hopefully begin the invasion of Great Britain by amphibious landing. So it's been quite some time since I've started up this game, so I'm not 100% sure where we are. All I know is that we are pretty much trying to vie for dominance over Europe, right? And right now, two problems are apparent. First and foremost, we need to take care of Great Britain. On the land, Great Britain overshot, or on the sea, I should say, Great Britain really does a good job of holding all of their naval dominance objectives. Well, on the other hand, we only hold quite a few. We only held a handful of different positions. In theory, we could match the British by launching an assault onto Prussia, Russia, and Spain to capture this region, but that will be quite a costly war. Now, at the moment, we have quite a lot of forces that are just kind of uncommitted inside this general area. I'm going to try to spread my troops out on my borders by a little bit. And right now, we can't necessarily do anything about the Great Britain fleet just yet. The only way we can beat them is if we gain a large number of transport ships. We're going to need quite a lot of those so that we can ship a force across the channel by using a diversionary force to just kind of lure the British Navy away. But the only problem is that we don't know what is on the British Isles. We don't know what their strengths are or what forces they have, right? And how many forces do they have? Ooh, a new supply idea. Well, we will be putting that inside. Let's put that inside supply attrition ideas, because I guess we will have to go through the land route of taking these countries, taking Prussia, Russia, and Austria. That's not going to be fun, so I guess we'll leave a small force here in the meantime. Let's get the rest of our forces moving down here. It looks like the Prussians have joined the war effort against us, so it's time to kick their butts. And how I want to do this is that since they're fighting Russia on this front over here, what I kind of want to do is I want to establish a defensive line all across the river system inside Prussia. If we can hold the major rivers, we'll be able to kind of landlock the Prussians down, which will be very, very helpful. I mean, it's like, in theory, we don't necessarily have to commit 100% of our forces to sieging targets, right? We can gradually work our way through sieges and just hold the front where it is. So while that front is going on, we will be deploying our troops. I need to switch this map mode off for a second. We will be deploying our troops into Spain. We're going to ask them for military access, and we're going to deploy this army over here, and we're going to take Portugal away from the Portuguese, I guess. And the reason I want to do that is simply because I want to make sure that we beat them over here. We get rid of Great Britain's annoying ally, and then later on we'll be able to actually move against Great Britain themselves. I have to make sure nobody's marching to the sound of guns, so then we can actually begin a few. No, you do not forced march as well. Actually, we're taking these places over by siege already. So So that is good. Take that, and that, and that. Gonna be a little risky and advance our forces across the river here and take positions on another river slightly ahead. Something like that. Now that is the easy war front out of the two that we had to manage. Over here, it's going to be a little more difficult because the Portuguese also have sufficient numbers to really do some damage. So, I'm gonna have to watch them. Play some more infantry here. And why can't we use the delay tactic? We're gonna need some more light infantry on that flank. Let's put some guards here. Take away this. Take away this. Up the guard. Can we do that? Oh well, I guess we're gonna have to advance like that. Two armies taking up frontal positions on rivers, so then when combat actually starts, that is going to bleed the Portuguese dry. As soon as it does that, we take up more defensive locations, move the weaker armies back, and we'll move reserved cavalry forward. Actually, no, we'll get one army to chase them. And then cavalry comes in, so then they will assist them. Actually, it looks like we attacked across mountainous terrain, across a river as well, so that didn't do us a lot of favors. So it looks like we're gonna have to keep that army there. In the meantime, just siege the enemy on two fronts here. What is this? Austria has decided to commence their assault onto us. Okay. Well, that's not a problem. We can beat the Austrians back at the same time. We're gonna raid the Austrians and keep them at bay for now. Let our allies handle the majority of their armies, and in the meantime, we're just gonna continue sieging the good people of Germany. And we're going to try to meet the Russians at their front. Try to complete this kind of a pincer attack that we put onto the Germans. Something like that. So we're going to move the front forward inside Prussia. Spanish front. These two armies are at a standstill. Oh well. Yeah, I have a feeling our Bavarian allies is gonna handle the majority of the the Austrian threat, so we're gonna let them do most of that work for us. Yeah, that sounds about right. Just let them do most of the stuff while we sit back and wait. Oh, that's not good. The Austrians appear to be sieging some of the recently captured fortresses. I wanted to make sure that the the troops that we have stationed here are able to just tightly secure the area. What's happening here? The Portuguese were beat back once again. That is good. You know, at this point, we could, in theory, go after the Great British right of way, and I would do that. The only problem is that I'm not sure about the guard units that they have. Elite guard infantry is probably going to be one of our biggest concerns if we land a force onto the British soil. What treaties can we create? We create the place Westfield. I don't know. Put that to the side. You know, I don't think the Germans have very much left, so let's just kind of finish them off with kind of a maneuver like this. Yep, something like this. So now we've taken even more German land, sieged 2 more fortresses, sieged the one over here and the one over here, and then we should be done with this campaign. You always want to finish off one enemy before you move on to the other one, so that's kind of what we're going to be doing. Finish off Prussia, get some land on West Prussia so that we can advance into Denmark, because Denmark is one of our goals. Let's see what we can get. Shock ideas for this? No. Fire ideas. Way too many fronts, and we need to resupply the armies over here inside Spain sooner or later. But right now we're kind of short on men. I think now it's time to settle for peace for 100% war score. So let's demand for some tribute inside the area of Germany. So we're gonna try to nab all of this good stuff. They would not accept this offer, they would not accept this offer, they will accept this offer. We actually don't need those 2 villages, we just need the border lands over here. Something like that I think would do. I'm gonna settle for something like that. This way we can deploy forces over here. We can then open up a front onto the backside of Austria like this, so then that would probably be the end of them. Then we can send some reinforcements to the Portuguese front like that. And against Austria, they're most likely already beat by now, so we don't necessarily need to deal with them by much. On this front, we will be declaring war with Denmark, and why I want to do that is simply because I need to get more dominance objectives for naval stuff, and Hamburg is one of them. If I grab Hamburg, it gives me one more flag that I will need to be able to compete with the enemy. with the what do you call them? With the Britons. That's with the English. There we go. That took a long time, but it is all good now. So we're gonna start sieging these fortresses. We're gonna just try to take them by force, right? We kind of want to finish this war on this front really fast. Taking these two places inside inside Portugal, that is very good. They're gonna be fighting across the river, so hopefully they bleed themselves dry again. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to get an army across the river here and into their capital. If we take their capital, typically, generally speaking, they will break no matter what. Alright, and that should be the end of actions over here. Inside Portugal, I'm gonna see our war score, 85%. I wanna see if we can make them become a satellite for us. Yeah, they can become a satellite for us. So now they're taken out of the British coalition. So now we can get a better picture of what the British actually possess. So between all of our different countries, we possess in total 86 ships. The Great British have 75 ships, less than ours, but I'm sure they have more capable generals. In terms of infantry and land mass power, it looks like we're probably undermatched for that frontage. Bear in mind that we had to land a troop here under the pursuit of British Navy. Of the British Navy. We're gonna have to land troops here, get them across the island, and fight off the British, and then slowly capture all of their cities. So their force is quite big. They actually have more guards than us. So that is very, very strange. We're gonna have to get Napoleon onto the shores of Great Britain, because he's one of the only leaders that can commit guard infantry. It's going to be one of the bigger problems that we're going to have to face here inside that campaign. Our allies are going to do quite a nice job of just mopping stuff up over there. And here. No, never mind, just not yet. We're gonna settle for peace with the Austrians in a little bit as soon as we take even more of their territory. British landing fleet with no leader. That is good news for us, because we're gonna have to commit some forces to defeating them. Oh. That's a very good thing that they've landed quite a large force here. The British army is going to suffer continually from loss of manpower. Let's just demand tribute from these people, from the Austrians right now, and we're going to take this swapping piece of land. Slightly more, actually, if we can push it. They would not accept this offer, they would accept something like that. Yep. Something like that. There we go. Claim up that large chunk of Austria, and that'll allow us to redirect our troops to the front over here. Pull back the troops from this area of the world, and now we are close to meeting the powers of Great Britain, because we're fairly close to putting them on stilts, because right now we possess quite a few of our dominance objectives. For here we possess 5 of these. We can get Barcelona from the Spanish, hopefully with ease. We can take the 2 from Russia, again fairly easy, although a land war in Russia may be fairly costly. If we take a look at Great Britain, I don't remember how you do this. But if we take a look at their dominance objectives, they have almost all of theirs for navy, and that might be quite a bit of an issue. We're going to get behind the enemy here, we're going to engage them like that, and we're going to break their leaderless army fairly easily. Over here we're going to march like that, and hopefully take the British over with a small army on the northern front, plow through the Denmark army. Move forward like that, recommit the rest of these troops here. That is the Netherlandic force, which is alright. And Napoleon's troops is gonna commence an attack onto the British. Hopefully the British will break in the first few little bits. The British will lose, they will pull back, we will chase them with all of our might. That single battle dropped their war score by 8.2%, and I bet that must have devastated their armies. With a victory like that, I really want to take the fight to the British right now. So I'm gonna get all of these ships, and I'm going to combine it into a big old fleet at St. Lo here. Trying to figure out how we're gonna commence this landing. We want to land all of these troops onto British soil almost immediately, as soon as possible, really. Transport capacity of 45. This is probably going to be more transport capacity. Transport capacity of 10. Okay, so as soon as the British Navy passes, we can commence the invasion onto their homeland. Right now, we're pretty much winning the war, right? We have a war score of 38. What I want to do is that I want to land on British soil, quickly invade one of their provinces, grab control of that, and then secure peace. What that'll allow us to do is that'll give us a few years of just idle peace. We can wait around for things to happen, right? But the benefit that brings to us is that it allows us to be able to just kind of sit around, wait for a little bit, and then land all of our troops onto their island safely. Then just bulldoze them to the edge, pretty much. That'll pretty much win the game for us if we're able to pull off a maneuver such as that. Problem with that is that we have to commit all of our troops in that situation. We're gonna have to deploy everything because we're going to go onto British soil, and we're gonna go and take on their army there. So I'm gonna save the game here, and I'm actually gonna end this part. Next time, since we've destroyed the majority of the British army, and the majority of their forces reside over here, we have a solid chance of landing quite a big navy or quite a big land force onto Great Britain and then moving up the coast from there. This is Pewpewchewchew, and as always, be sure to like and subscribe. In the next episode, we might just win the game. So, until then, bye-bye.